bienvenidos a todos. Muchas gracias por estar acá en esta actividad en el campo de la Semana de los Idiomas, organizado por In-Company Language Training. Estamos ingresando las últimas personas y ahí ya en unos minutos empezaremos. Muy bien, seguramente se van a ir sumando algunos más en los próximos minutos. Bueno, esta actividad la organizamos, en realidad la organiza In-Company Language Training con el apoyo de la Asociación de Centros de Idiomas en el marco de la Semana de los Idiomas 2022. Esta es la 21ª edición de la Semana, de este proyecto, en el cual celebramos los idiomas, las culturas y distintos temas que cada año se elige un tema en el cual vamos desarrollando de acuerdo a los ejes que se plantean, ¿no?, por el grupo de trabajo de la asociación y que participan los centros asociados de todo el país. Es una actividad en la cual celebramos, en la cual los idiomas también tienen un rol fundamental en la comunicación, pero hablamos de otros temas, en el cual los idiomas sirven como herramienta para la comunicación de estos temas, ¿no? Este año hablamos sobre el desarrollo sustentable en las 3 dimensiones. En la dimensión social, en la dimensión productiva, económica y en la dimensión ambiental. Muchas gracias a todos por estos minutos también. Muchas gracias, Beatriz, por acercarnos la propuesta, y ahí ya te dejo, Beatriz, la palabra para que puedas también darnos una introducción sobre qué vamos a ver hoy en el marco de la Semana de los Idiomas 2022.
Bueno, muchas gracias, Fabio. Bueno, bienvenidos a todos. Unas palabritas en español primero, para los que no hablan inglés. Como dijo Fabio, ustedes saben que a través de la asociación hacemos 2 eventos al año muy importantes. Uno es la Semana del Cerebro, muchos de ustedes participaron, tanto en el aula como en las actividades abiertas nuestras, y la segunda actividad del año es la Semana de los Idiomas. Y hoy estamos abriendo en In-Company Language Training con un taller especial sobre la sustentabilidad. Bueno, dichas estas palabras en español, let's switch into English. Okay, so, well, today, in order to deal with this topic, which is so interesting, and everybody's talking about being able to develop a habit and be able to keep it along our lives. So during Brain Awareness Week, we devoted to developing individual habits, personal habits. Today, we are going to deal with habits related to the environment. And in this particular workshop, we are going to deal with tourism, sustainable tourism. So, in order to talk about this topic, I would like to introduce you to Natalia Dezzutto. Natalia Dezzutto is an English teacher, and it's part of our academic team. Okay, so let's listen to Natalia. Let's deal with this topic, which is so up to date. Okay, and then we would like to listen to you all stating your opinions about this subject. So, Natalia, come on, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Bea, for the introduction. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. And well, as we have been talking about, today I'm going to talk about sustainable tourism. This is kind of a new concept, but it's becoming more and more common, and most of the people are taking it into account when it comes to traveling and organizing holidays. Okay, so are you familiar with the concepts? Have you ever read anything about it? Do you have like any keywords that may be related to it? No, this is new for all of you?
I guess, Natalia, that we are all very worried about the environment. Okay, so this is the key word, environment. What we are going to do about being able to take care of our environment.
Exactly. The idea is to try to be more eco-friendly. Yeah, we know that the Earth is going through different problems related to environment, such as global warming, climate change, natural disasters. So the idea is that we can do something different to help it, okay? So as the title suggests, the idea is to broaden our minds related to this concept, to this new topic, and to be able to travel, because I think that most of us love traveling, like to keep on doing it, of course, but in a more eco-friendly way, yeah? So to begin with, here we have some questions that I would like you to think about. For example, what is sustainable tourism? Why is it important? If you have heard of this before, did you know that tourism is closely connected to climate change? And have you ever thought of how much pollution we create when we travel? I would like you to give like a very brief opinion or any concepts that you may have about this. Like if you have ever thought about this, or if you try to be more eco-friendly each day, and especially when you think of traveling. Any volunteer that would like to speak? Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
Omar.
Yes. I'm Omar. Thank you. Yes. Before I start, I remember that during the pandemic, we had a new word, homecation. Remember this new word?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's not related to this topic, but it was very fun when I heard that new words, no, in United States and the rest of the English language countries. No, in my opinion, and yes, we are talking about the airplane, okay, because to create pollution is through the airplane, because they use the fuel, okay, in order to fly, and we create more CO2, okay, or monoxide, okay, of carbon to fly is a pollution that we are, no, but every day we have more low cost airplane that in this case this reduce the oxygen or carbon monoxide oxygen, okay, when we are flying is a good option, because you don't need to go too much luggage, okay. I know that the women like to use 1-2 luggage when you are on vacation, but it's important to take in mind or keep in mind those recommendations, okay, in the future, okay. But I like to travel. I like to travel. I had traveling to different countries around the world. I like it so much. Okay.
So in your case, when you travel, like, do you think of different ways to try to like reduce the effects on the planet, or
yes,
not? For example,
yes.
It's not the same taking, as you mentioned, a direct flight than having to make like flight stops, because of course one thing is one plane, another is like taking 3. So in that case, we are adding more flights. So do you take that into account?
Yes, for example, this is a way to reduce the pollution around the world, right? Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
On the air. Mm-hmm.
Good. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's all.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other volunteer?
Yes.
Yes, Tere.
Okay, I guess I'm a bit short today, but well, yes, I think that the new generations are more eco-friendly conscious. about all these. Since you mentioned that in everyday life, are you eco-friendly? Do you experience this? Yes, I do. I try to separate bottles. Around the world, places that you visit are more eco-friendly. They are more conscious of how ecology has an impact on the world. They are not, they are suffering many things like the coasts being polluted by lots of bottles, for example, by plastic, and they are more conscious. I think that we should also take care of our environment in Argentina too. We should start doing something about it. And tourism, I feel it is like the key to everything. No, it's what can include not only inhabitants in Argentina, but also the tourists coming here and letting them know that we are also conscious that we care about our area, about our place too. I'm completely for it.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. And as you mentioned, like when we travel maybe to other countries, it's so interesting to see how they have all these habits incorporated. Like it's very common for, I don't know, people to know like where to drop the rubbish, for instance. And maybe we stand in the middle of the bins, like thinking, okay, is this plastic? But this is used, so where should it go? And for them, it's so common. So it's good that we can learn from each other in this case. Good. Any other that would like to speak?
Maybe
Bernarda? Yes.
Sorry. Maybe also trying to bear in mind the famous 3 R's, no? Reduce, and recycle, no? That it's kind of omnipresent, and a lot of people have been taking care of that or bearing it in mind, no? And especially with these eco bottles, no? I've heard of the initiative about the love bottles, no? Botellas de amor. I've heard love bottles,
Yes.
where you fill up the bottles, plastic bottles, with lots of packages from different things. No, I think it's a good initiative.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, thanks. It's good. It's very interesting. Okay, well, thanks for your opinion. I would like to listen to you further then. But let's go deeper into this topic. And here we have the definition of sustainable tourism. And it is defined as a way of tourism that has more benefits than negative impacts related to the environment, the economy, and the communities. We're going to see further on that these are the 3 pillars, yeah, of sustainable tourism: the environment, the economy, and communities. Okay, the idea is to reduce all the negative effects that traveling can have. Yeah, then also we are going to see, but there are some cities or countries that are affected a lot by tourism. Yeah, for example, Venice. It's a very well-known case that like people who live there suffer a lot from this. Yeah, they cannot walk freely, or everything, like the floods are worse, and they have different effects because of the massive tourism that happens because it's a very famous place, of course, right? Another important topic or concept related to sustainable tourism is for people to take or to live different experiences. Yeah, socio-economic experiences, and to learn from others. Yeah, to learn from other communities. Okay. So here, what I was mentioning before, the triple impacts. Yeah, we have to think of the environment. Yes, that's why here we have environmental, social, and economic. Okay, these are the 3 main topics we have to bear in mind when we talk about sustainable tourism. Yes, if we talk about the environment, okay, we have to think of the natural resources and how we can raise awareness among people, among tourists. If we talk about the social aspects, how we can help local producers and also value our local culture. Yeah, how can we, like, how we can transmit our culture to other people. Yeah, if someone comes from another country, okay, like I want to show them something about Argentina in this case, okay, so that they can see how valuable our country is for us, okay. And talking about the economic aspects, like improve the quality of the citizens. Yeah, and again, I bring the example of Venice. Yeah, those people suffer because of all the tourists. So what can we do to help them? Yeah. Okay. Then here we have all the negative impacts of tourism. Yes, and well, here I selected a picture of Venice to keep on talking about it. Well, if we talk about like natural impacts, negative impacts, we talk about pollution, endangered species, global warming, climate change, and we have seen many changes regarding this aspect when the pandemic cropped up. Yeah, because like the ozone layer got smaller, animals were free in the wild. Pollution was reduced a lot too. So I think that was like maybe one of the good aspects of the pandemic. Just that, yeah, like the pollution lowered and animals lived better. If we talk about the social impact, we can talk about migrations, the loss of local culture. Yeah, how many, like there are lots of cities or small towns that like they don't have their own history or values anymore. Yeah, because of tourism mainly. Yes, or the language, even the language. Yes, they have changed the language they use or they speak because of tourists. Okay. Then the disturbance of everyday life. Yeah, this is one of the most common aspects. Insecurity and over-tourism, okay? And talking about the economic aspects, the loss of currency, yeah, having to adopt maybe other notes, bills, coins because of the exchange. Low employment rates or seasonal employment, this is another very common topic to see or aspects. Yeah, people that are employed just for a season and then they are unemployed because tourists flock to another place. The inflation, and when tourism is the main activity of a city, that is something dangerous too. Because again, if we're talking about seasons, like, okay, what happens when it's like low season or shoulder season? Okay, what happens to those people? Okay, did you know about these negative impacts, like the natural, social, economic? No. Okay, have you ever had any experiences when traveling that you were able to see these things? For example, the over-tourism or the loss of local culture. Have you ever been aware of that, of these aspects when traveling? Tere? Your microphone is there.
Okay, they depend so much on tourism. I remember many years ago in Mexico, how a boy was picking up every little paper that was there. And we sort of look at him and say, why are you taking care of this minus, that minus little thing meant money for his family, money for eating, for surviving really. So it was a long time ago, but still there at that time, people were suffering the consequences of having, for example, the beaches full of things that should not be there, right? Like paper, yes, and they were thrown by tourists. So I imagine that this has been in crescendo, right? So people that live there are really, really conscious. And if you look at them, if you see the different things, the crafts, everything that they do that are for tourists, it's the minus thing that they offer you to see how they care about their place and how that can affect, how we can affect the place where they are living by doing things that we should not do, don't do. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thanks for the example there in Mexico. Any other example or any other experience that you may have had when you traveled to any place? I can keep on talking about Venice because I was there in 2019, but I would like to listen to you and your examples.
Well, here in our beaches, we have that example. I mean, you go to Mar del Plata or to any of the beaches and you see people throwing bags, throwing things all over the place and not caring to take them to the bin or whatever it should be. Yes, that's one thing. And this affects animals that are in the sea because then you yes, having bags floating all over the coast.
Yeah, even though they may have a bin near them, but they prefer like throwing everything on the sand. Yeah, that's true. Good. Any other example? No, any questions so far? Sorry, Susana.
No, there was thinking about Paris. It was a very long time ago, but in Paris, they don't like tourists because they think that Paris belongs to them. And in fact, they're right, because there are many Chinese and Japanese and people from all over the world in Paris, and Parisians don't feel they have their city for their own pleasure. It's true. The thing is, Paris is a very nice city, and we should be able to tour around without having, I mean, if you speak English in Paris, you're doomed. Forget it.
Yeah.
You have to.
I know.
You have to speak
I know it from
Italian.
experience.
You have to speak Spanish, but not English. Once you've opened your mouth and utter a word in English, forget it. You're dead.
Yeah.
So it's a thing, to consider if you're going to Paris.
You're right, exactly. Thank you. Adri, you're going to ask them some questions, right? About them, because I have to go.
Okay, yes.
Yes, I'm coming back in a while. Yes.
All right. Okay. Yes. So, all right. So, is there anything that has caught your attention so far about the presentation? Anything that for you is new, that you hadn't thought about it before? Because we mentioned, well, this example of, yes, rubbish or garbage. Yes, that is the usual thing. And, well, you mentioned, Susana, this question of people feeling affected in Paris by the number of tourists. Maybe any other impact or things that caught your attention? Or ideas of how we could reduce this impact?
The thing is, what I don't have it very clear is the loss of the local culture. How can local culture be lost? I don't get that.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's because receiving many tourists, they must adapt maybe to people that are coming, and maybe do something that is standard for tourists, and maybe this, in a way, may have some loss about that.
Okay.
I think that is one of the things. Or
perhaps that can be linked with the question of migrating, because it says that people migrate. So if you start thinking of not political reasons, but thinking of the place where you live that is coming smaller and smaller because of these eco consequences. They have to migrate to other places to find their living. So perhaps that would be the loss of the local culture. Less and less people being there to offer their crafts, to offer what they make there.
Yeah. Or maybe in big cities, maybe some of the local people, as it happens in London, maybe they move away from the city. And when you go to London, you find people from all over the world, but it's not so easy to find English people. You find Indian, Pakistani, all kinds of accents. In Hyde Park, a lot of people dressed with clothes like the Arab suits, and few English people. Okay, Nati, you're back.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, let's move on. Now we have another concept that some people confuse with sustainable tourism, and is ecotourism. Have you ever heard of this before? Ecotourism. Okay, what do you think ecotourism is?
I guess it will involve a lot of trekking activities that are related with nature. And I see people, as the photo is there, riding bicycles and being eco-friendly, thinking all the time about being ecological. Not attending the typical resort, let's say. Going down,
like backpacking.
Backpacking, glamping.
Good. Okay. Any other ideas about ecotourism? No? Okay. Well, what is important here is to know that they are not the same. Yeah, they are two different concepts. Ecotourism, yes, refers to educating tourists. Yeah, like for them to learn about nature, about culture, about communities. Okay, so it's related to what Teresa was mentioning before. Yes, for travelers to get a deeper knowledge about communities, nature, environments. Okay, and to take part in different cultural activities. For example, I don't know, if you travel to Salta, for instance, okay, to take part in Peña, okay, to dance the typical music, to eat local food, okay, that is part of ecotourism. And another characteristic is that ecotourism is always sustainable, okay, because you're like creating activities that are eco-friendly. On the other hand, sustainable tourism creates different travel opportunities that have minimal impact on that destination, yeah, or that has positive benefits for a specific destination or community, sorry, but that does not mean that it's always going to be ecotourism. Okay, so sustainable tourism would be, for example, you travel to Bariloche and you stayed in an eco hostel, for example. Bariloche, in fact, is a place that has many eco places to stay in. Yeah, so being there or having booked your room there is a sustainable action. But not all your trip is sustainable, because flying by plane is not, I don't know, taking a cab, Uber, whatever, is not. So it's just something, okay? And you're not learning about cultural activities. You're just staying in an eco place. Do you see the difference between these two concepts? Mm-hmm. Yes. So ecotourism is more about the type of activities you do and the things you learn about a specific place. Sustainable tourism is more about the choices you make. Okay. In this case, for example, booking an eco-friendly hotel. Then we're going to see an example of this one eco place to stay. Something very interesting is that Sustainable Development Goals, they are official. Yes, every year they release new ones to bear in mind. And these are the ones to be taken into account in this year, in 2022. As you may see, there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, but specifically, they are working on 3 of them, yeah, in 2022. They are working on, here, number 8, that says decent work and economic growth. They are also working on responsible consumption and production. This is number 12. And number 14, life below water, okay? Like how we can save animals, not drop rubbish on the seas, for instance, okay? So these were the chosen for this year. If you had to choose 3 goals to develop in 2022, which ones would you choose from all these lists? Which ones do you think are the most important? This is for your opinion, so there is no right or wrong, okay? Any ideas? Which ones would you like to choose?
I guess since we are all the majority teachers, we would choose number 4 as one of the goals.
Exactly. Yes. And how can you improve it?
I was given, yes.
Tere, you are, yes.
As a present for Teachers' Day, I was given an eco pencil.
Okay.
The one that you can use when you finish it, leave a bit, and it becomes a plant. But
yeah, I like those. Yeah, they're very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The rest, which ones would you like to choose or to try to implement?
I think it's connected with education. It's about no poverty. Because
Okay,
if you,
yes.
you can educate people, they will know to do something. They will, they can make a living out of their improvement in their skills. So if they're educated, they can come out of poverty because they have more resources. They have more intellectual resources. They have more. They can offer more to the rest of the population.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you, Susana.
And related to the communities and tourism, if they have a kind of a way of making a living, maybe through education or some trades or something that they can make a living in those communities and deal with tourism, trying to connect maybe their activity with tourism.
Exactly. Good. The rest, come on, I want to listen to your opinions about this.
Yeah, I guess that number 8 is also very important. Decent work and economic growth. I mean, being able to offer jobs all the year long and not just during a season. I think this would be very important, at least for a country. And I know that in many places in Argentina, this has changed. And luckily, there are some provinces that can have tourism all the year long. So, well, it's a way to be able to ensure people a job, a permanent job, and not just a seasonal one. So I would choose that one.
Excellent. Well, in fact, that is one of the selected for this year. So this organization is working on it. I remember, for example, these winter holidays, I was in Ushuaia, and many people were worried because they were hired just for the season. you know, like to work in the center or those things. And then it was like, okay, and then like the rest of the month. So I think this is something to bear in mind for everyone to work on this to improve in the future. Okay, the rest, any other opinion related to this?
What about our students present today? Only teachers are participating.
Yeah, they are very shy.
Yes, come on. Teachers are not going to correct any mistakes today, eh? So feel free to state your opinions.
Okay, hello. In my case, I think 11 and 12 could be related. And also because of tourism, you can go to a place, and this place should have like special or something built in order for people to visit the city or different places, but without damaging or invading local people, or just like, for example, I remember the Trevi fountain. Now you're not longer cannot throw a coin there because it was just a nightmare of people there just throwing coins and everything. And you go there just to see the fountain. I know you can, you have the story that you can ask wishes and everything, but you can just to think through all the action that you're doing, because you're damaging actually the culture, just in order for you just to reply something that you heard of or you believe, or it's like you can go admire something that is have a lot of years old, and instead of damaging, just admire it. And I don't know, I think it's important for the cities and all the different places just to have more adequate places, just to not, in this case, just to be sustainable and not being destroyed or damaged in some way.
Excellent, thank you, Martin. Good, any other students? Anyway, Bernarda, I know you wanted to speak before.
Okay. Well, thanks, Natty. Something that has called my attention is that I've been told that, for example, there are some bamboo straws that are biodegradable, or avocado straws, or avocado made of avocado pits or avocado seed straws, that call my attention because apparently they biodegrade in 240 days or 1 year. And I think this is a very nice thing to implement. I've been told that this is something that's been going on in Mexico. I've never been to Mexico. Maria was mentioning something regarding Mexico, but here in some, lately, I think in the typical fast food restaurants that we got here in Buenos Aires, they've already done away with plastic straws. They don't give away plastic straws, which I think is a good initiative. And I think they are made of cardboard, or they're made of, or I don't know exactly the material they use, but I think it's really nice because, and what Adi was saying also regarding the plastic, that the plastic takes like 150 years to degrade, to decompose, so I think it's something that little by little companies, or in general, are taking into account and putting into practice. I think
Yeah, I didn't know about the avocado straws.
Yes,
I learned about the others, but not about interesting.
Yes, avocado straws and bamboo straws, and interesting. They are biodegradable.
Good. And thinking of bamboo straws, take our mind to the Caribbean, for instance, like also traveling. Good, thanks, Narda. Any other that would like to share their opinion? or saying which of these goals would like to implement. The rest of the students that are participating here. Don't be shy, come on.
We will have to take this into account, Nati. Next time, teachers will be forbidden to participate. So
Exactly. Come on, David, Facundo, come on, open, speak up. Boys, come on. Don't be shy.
Okay.
Dennis, Facu, come on.
I'm Fernanda. I'm very shy. I'm sorry, but it's difficult for me imagine one or choose one or two goals because all they are related. So in my opinion, I am mom. So therefore, for me is the key. For example, for the new generations, the quality education about the sustainable development goals in every way. But I think the fourth is the key for me.
Okay, thank you, Fernanda, for sharing.
But don't you think, Fernanda, that the problem is us parents? Because, I mean, children at school are learning a lot about the environment and they are incorporating the habits, and it's our generations, okay, the ones that have to get into it, no? I mean, it's been hard for us to start splitting or separating the rubbish, but kids now go to kindergarten and they learn about it. I mean, on the first day they go to school. So I think it's all the generations that have to adapt to this change, to this question of broadening our mindset. I think that maybe it's us that have to change. The younger generations are already on the right path.
They show us how, I don't know, do it. For example, the love bottles we made in my house with all the involved or the plastic we have in my house, for example. This is one way, or compost, made compost is another.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So well,
compost is quite trendy nowadays. Many people are involved in compost. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, something new. Good. Okay, any other before we move on?
Yes, it's me again.
Okay,
yes, the water, the clean water is important in my opinion, because when only our body is 70% of water, the rest is bones and meat. Okay, and this is important not only for that, it's only for all the process that we need to have in the community. Okay, and we will know that not all the planet has a clean water. That is important to take in mind, that we need to preserve this kind of water in our life. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like for example, or most typical example, when we brush our teeth to close the tap, or spending like few minutes having a shower, not taking baths every day, bubble baths. So yeah, to save water. You're right.
Or you had a drop off in your faucet and you need to repair it.
Exactly.
For example.
Exactly. Yes.
It's
totally
more common in our life.
Yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Thank you again. Okay, do you have any questions so far? No?
No.
Okay, then you're going to receive the PowerPoint and you will find more information related to these goals, okay? All the explanation and everything. But now let's jump to different ways to promote sustainable tourism. We've been talking about them, we've mentioned most of them, but just as a reminder, okay? For example, to avoid the plane or take non-stop flights. Yes, if you have the possibility. Of course, sometimes it's impossible or it's a money issue, so it depends on the situation. To go green, yeah, to acquire green habits, like for example, the compost or these pencils that then you plant. Spread awareness on sustainable tourism. Yeah, starting to start to speak about this with people around us. Yeah, they may be interested in the topic and maybe they don't have a lot of ideas what it is about. So that's something good. To support local restaurants, yeah, talking about supporting the local communities, the local culture, the local food. Support legislation that promotes sustainable tourism. To buy souvenirs from local stores, yeah, sometimes the small producers is a way of helping them too. To support the fight against illegal trade. Walk where possible. This is good not only for tourism, but also for our health. So whenever you can, walk. And you can also find out new places when you walk. You get lost, you find out new shops, new places to sightsee, so it's interesting. To promote sustainable tourism with your inner circle, travel more locally. Also, well, the pandemic has made this possible. Yeah, maybe to travel in our country, for example. To share your sustainable travel experiences, volunteer to organizations fighting the same fight, saying no to plastics. Yeah, for example, there are many markets where you bring your own bags or your own containers, your own jars, and they put the products there. So it's a good way of not using plastics. Donate to sustainable tourism businesses and organizations. Take care of heritage places. This is very important too. Hasn't it happened to you that you travel to, I don't know, a province here in Argentina or any other place and you see like the heritage places all written in graffiti or not being taken care of? And I mean, we should, it's part of our place. We should respect the practices of local people, yeah, their traditions, their habits. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone, yeah, because acquiring new habits and new concepts is not always easy, yeah, but then you will feel better when you start doing something new that takes you out of your comfort zone. And make sustainable tourism the new normal. Okay, we've been talking about the new normal over the past years since the pandemic started. So we can make this sustainable tourism the new normal for us. Okay, and before we finish the presentation, we're going to see a short video about a couple that lives in San Rafael, Mendoza. Yes, I don't know if you have ever traveled there. It's a very nice place in Mendoza. And well, they used to live here in Buenos Aires and then they moved there. And they have created or they have built their own eco-friendly hotel. As you may see here from the pictures, they are containers. Yeah, they took containers, they recycled them. They used solar panels, different heating systems and everything. And today is a place where you can go and spend your nights there. If you go to San Rafael, I was there last year in winter, and I think it's amazing. What they've done is amazing, and you acquire like a new experience. And they promote also, for example, eco-touristic activities too. Yeah, how to be in touch with nature. I don't know, like collecting fruits from their place or preparing traditional meals, like trying to absorb like the most of the experience there. Yeah, so let's watch the video. You're going to listen to Virna who is the, one of the people involved in this project, and then we will discuss the video, okay? Please let me know if there is any problem with the sound, okay?
We arrived in 2017 from Buenos Aires to Los Claveles, San Rafael, Mendoza. Here we apply and use everything we learn in our training and research. And that's how Casartero was born, sustainable from its origin. Here we use non-traditional construction systems, we apply renewable energies, we take care of the water and the land, and we give a strong message of circular economy through our recycled containers for accommodation. In 2019, we achieved the Greener Hotel certification, which gave us the tools to organize and straighten our short, medium, and long-term objectives, work under an action plan, and feedback towards continuous improvement. Our neighbors, Maria and Paco, are the doors to those stories that are part of our socio-cultural heritage, and that encourage us to continue building a regenerative and conscious tourism. We will empower gastronomic identity by giving continuity to traditions and strengthening the zero-kilometer concept. And from the beginning, Casartero gave the space to local entrepreneurs aligned to sustainability as support and promotion, generating a direct link with our traveler. My name is Virna Lavarino from Casartero Ecoposada, and we invite you to live the Casartero experience. Thank you very much.
Okay, what do you think about this experience, about this place? As you have seen from the video, they take into account the local produce, small producers. What do you think of this idea?
It's a very, very interesting option to know it. Is the new way to constructions reduce the materials that we used to use years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Any other opinion? What do you think about the video? About these projects? Would you like to stay there in this type of hotels? To experience something different?
Yes, it's amazing.
Okay. Well,
in fact, Nati, I think that, well, it makes us imagine a different kind of holiday. Because, I mean, when one thinks of tourism, one thinks of a 5-star hotel or, well, something incredible. And now this gives us the idea of not having perhaps that comfort zone that we find in a hotel, but the comfort zone being nature, being in contact with nature, enjoying nature. I think this is the concept they are trying to develop. So instead of having those comfortable rooms and bedrooms, living in a container, but also being able to feel the warmth of the place, of the people. I think, well, it has to do with a change of concept, as the title of your workshop, Broadening Our Mind. So having another approach to our tourism or to our holidays. I think this is the important message, I think.
Exactly. That was what happened to me last year. I was looking for a place to try to disconnect. And I knew I didn't want to be like in the city center, surrounded by more buildings and anything. And like out of the blue, on an Instagram advert, Casartero appeared, and it was everything like I was looking for at that moment. Like being surrounded by nature, taking like they gave me their bike, and I went riding through the vineyards and the mountains, contemplating the sunsets. Exactly. Yeah, like living something completely different. Yes. And then you come back very like freshen up. That's right. Sure. Then if you're interested, you can search for more information like on their Instagram page or their webpage. Yeah, Casartero, like it's here, and you will find more information about it. Okay.
Besides Nati, if you're interested, I mean, you can join us on Wednesday next week. You know that on Wednesday next week at 6 o'clock, we have invited these couple of entrepreneurs who have developed Eco Posada Casartero to give a talk on the way they handle this business. I think it will be very interesting to know how they changed their minds, how they decided to leave Buenos Aires to move to the middle of San Rafael and start this business there with all these new concepts. You know that Virna, one of the owners, she's an architect, but she's also a chef. So she prepares very nice dishes for people who go to their eco lodge. Okay, so I think it will be very interesting if you can attend that workshop. Again, it's going to be free, and we will learn a lot about the place and the way they handle the business and the kind of tourists they get, as Natalia had her experience last year just by searching on Instagram. So, well, you're all welcome.
Yeah, and it's in Spanish, just in case.
It's in Spanish, so you won't have to give your opinion in English. So feel free, feel free to join us, okay? Because I mean, you will learn about a different way of doing tourism.
Yes, the idea of circular economy, sustainability, and many other topics, not only the project itself. Yeah.
Thank you, Natalia, for this kind of information, because I am planning to go to the Mendoza this December, and I'm looking for something like that.
Okay,
so you have the clue there.
So try to attend on Wednesday at 6 p.m. that there you have all the details. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's nice to hear. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, and to finish this presentation, you will also find on the PowerPoint some useful links in case you're interested and you want to keep on learning about this topic. You have like the official webpage for the development goals and the ones that they are planning to launch for 2030. So imagine they are thinking ahead. Here you can read more about responsible travel. And here I found some podcasts on Spotify, Sustainable Tourism and Rethink Travel. So if you like listening to podcasts, apart from being a good way of practicing the language, you are going to learn more about this topic, and a TED Talk in case you're also interested. Okay. Well, and that will be all. Thank you very much for participating. I hope you liked the presentation, that you learned this new concept, that you put it into practice, and well, as in the case of Omar, that you can enjoy something different, a new type of holiday for the future. So thank you a lot for participating and being here.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
you.
Natalie.
Take care.
Natalie, excellent.
Bye-bye.
I'm very
Beautiful
clear.
presentation.
Thank you. And well, we expect you in the other talks, okay, that are going to be through this week and the next one, right?
Right.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
Natalia.
Really
Thanks a
awesome.
lot. Thank you all teachers and students for participating. Well, you know that SEA has organized a lot of activities. So have a look at the list of activities and join not only us, but also our colleagues, okay, the other institutes from Jujuy to Santa Cruz. You know that there are like 130 members in the association, so there will be lots of activities, okay? And if you want to join our activities, remember next week we're going to have on Tuesday at midday, we have students from Papelera Ledesma who are going to give a talk about the way they make natural paper. Okay, that's Tuesday, 12:30, I think. On Wednesday, we're going to have Casartero, the Eco Posada at 6 o'clock. And on Thursday, we will have Patricia Garelik. She's Taekwondo championship. She has been Taekwondo championship 5 times, okay? Yeah. And she'll give a talk about being, helping people. Yeah. About solidarity, okay? So I think it will be very nice because she will explain the way she handles and she helps people, homeless people, by giving free Taekwondo lessons. Okay, so I think it's another concept of being able to help homeless people. So, well, you're all invited to join us and you're all invited to participate in all the activities that SEA has organized during these 2 weeks, okay, related to Languages Week. Well, thank you all. Thank you for being present. Thank you, Fabio, for helping us.